This is gonna be a funner story. I don't know if you guys saw this video. And the reason why I'm covering this is to make a larger point that the deep state is 100% real. If you guys think that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are making decisions, you're out of your goddamn mind. And that's why I'm covering this. I usually don't criticize Biden that much over dementia, even though it's a legitimate criticism. Don't get me wrong. If you want to criticize Biden dementia, that's legitimate because you're talking about the person who got the nuclear fucking codes, the president of the United States. I feel like we should be able to question that person's mental acuity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are, oh my God, you being ageist. Get the fuck out of here, okay? I would call it ageism when I see it, but ageism doesn't exist for Joe Biden, okay? When you're the president of the United States. Like for paid maternity leave is another. I'm for paid maternity leave, unless you're Pete Buttigieg in this time right now. You know what I mean? So I admit, I got different standards for these things with regarding the ruling class. But if you have that much power, there's some things that you gotta be sharp mentally. You can't take paid maternity leave. You rich enough to afford nannies. Get the fuck out of here. So let's get into this video, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm covering. This is Joe Biden. This is hilarious. I'm playing first, and I'll kind of describe what's happening. He's entering. This is him in UK. He does not recognize the prime minister. That's the brown prime minister. And he just shoves him away like he's some brown servant. And he sees the white military guy. And he was like, "Oh, that's the official." So then Joe Biden have no idea where he's at. And to be fair to him, UK has been changing prime ministers a lot. So he probably had no idea. He probably expecting to meet Margaret Thatcher. Biden has no idea what the fuck he's at.
Margaret Thatcher.
He got there like, "Where's Boris Johnson now? What the fuck is going on here?" So I'm sorry, I'll play the video. Here's the video. And not a long video. Once again, they're not gonna be a long segment. I think this is a fun way to wrap the stream. So look, he sees the brown prime minister. He's like, "Who the fuck is that? Get that servant the fuck out of here." He's like, "Get this servant boy out of here." And he's like, "Sir, I'm actually the prime minister."
Oh my God.
That's how my mind views this shit, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
So why? No, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, man, like, who's really running this country?
Yes.
Joe Biden is obviously not running this country. Now, typically, we already know that the president is most likely is not most likely, but is largely a figurehead, and corporations are giving them the instructions. They're largely a managerial support for the ruling class. But in this instance, what Joe Biden is displaying here is that there's no way that he can make this sort of mistake, Nick, and then he's making the right decisions on Ukraine.
Yeah.
Then he's turning around making the right decisions on $15 minimum wage, on climate change. Like, that is not possible. So this, to me, so clearly, and maybe Ronald Reagan was the last one, since Ronald Reagan clearly shows, it clearly shows if you have a mentally incapacitated person as the leader of the nation, how is it still functioning? It's an indication that this person is not really that's running the show. This is not the person running the show. There's so many other people running the show, and this is just the figurehead face. And I think it proves that.
Absolutely. Now, I'm glad you took it there because that's why I covered this. I usually don't cover it by dementia stuff, but that's the overall point, guys. And I made that point. You can look at my old tweets. I made the point over and over again before the election. I'm like, look how sick Joe Biden is. I want him to get help. But if he wins this election, who's going to be calling the shots in this country? This guy is not looking at the map in Ukraine, looking like, you guys really think Joe Biden like, let me think of the geopolitical consequences of engaging with Russia and Ukraine. Let me think of the geopolitical consequences. No, he's not doing shit, son, except
Nick,
barely keeping it together in the suit. You got. And
do you think?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you think he has been put in this position so that we can be marched to nuclear war, Armageddon?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would any other sane president be like down with this? Or they had to get somebody like this that's incapacitated.
I think Pete Buttigieg
just kind of going, yeah. Go ahead.
Like in the last election, I think Pete Buttigieg would be down. Like Amy Klobuchar was down.
Yeah, he would do whatever.
Like they was down for whatever, but they knew that Biden has a long track record, so they like he gonna shut the fuck up. He know he's there just to be the public face. Anthony Blinken is to Joe Biden the same way that Dick Cheney was to George W. Bush Jr. Where Not even Kamala Harris. Kamala, she ain't doing shit, son.
She's not doing it.
How pathetic is that? Because Dick Cheney was vice president.
Laughed out of this country.
At least Dick Cheney was obviously the chess master, the guy obviously in charge of that motherfucker. Everyone knows that now. That what Anthony Blinken and Lloyd Austin is to the Biden administration. When you see Anthony Blinken interview with Chuck Todd, where he got destroyed on Meet the Press, when you hear him speak about foreign policy, you know that's the fucking guy. If you guys don't know, Anthony Blinken has been Joe Biden's foreign policy advisor for 25 years. They set up a Senate Foreign Council commission to look into the Iraq war, and he was like, we're gonna examine the Republican lies about this war. But it was actually a front to manufacture consent towards the war, because Joe Biden said, hey, I'm a Democrat, I'm gonna look at what George Bush is saying, but he like, I'm gonna bring the general on that support the Iraq war. I'm gonna bring this guy on who support the Iraq war. And then at the end of the commission, they say, oh, based on our findings, George W. Bush and the Republicans had good reason to invade Iraq. And then he goes around and lies about it to this day and said, I was opposing George Bush. No, Joe Biden with Anthony Blinken played a very crucial role in justifying the Iraq war with him being head of the Senate Arms Committee. You guys understand? That guy has been with Joe Biden for 25 years at least. That guy is the commander-in-chief. You guys understand? It's not Joe Biden. This guy is a puppet in a suit. Not once again, Kamala Harris not qualified enough to do that. Anyone know Reagan? Another puppet in a suit. But this is the biggest, most obvious example since Bush Jr., right? Barack Obama was a puppet. He was really good because he could take their coaching and direction and add charisma to it. Golden, perfect. But they would deal with it, Biden. They can deal with it.